Welcome to this brief guide on how to set up and use personal bookings in Outlook. Have you ever found yourself trying to schedule an appointment with someone and constantly having to go back and forth saying, does this day work for you? No, how about you just slot something into my calendar? Well, today I'm going to show you how to use personal bookings to make that a thing of the past. All we need to do is open up our web browser and head to Outlook on the web. It is important that we are in the web version. Head to your calendar, and then down the bottom here, we'll notice where it says add a calendar. Underneath there, I have the option to edit my booking page. If you don't already have a booking page set up, this will say create a booking page. We're going to select this option to take us to our booking page. This will open up in a new tab, at which point we'll see that this is what we call Bookings with Me. This is currently in preview, but is available to all Microsoft 365 subscribers and is based on the Microsoft Bookings feature that is available for businesses. However, unlike those versions, this version is just for you and will have your name, your profile photo, and let people know that it's your booking page. On this booking page, you can have both public appointments as well as private ones. These will be visible depending on your personal privacy settings. We also can utilize the ellipsis menu to choose whether or not to turn our bookings page completely off. Should we be on leave and we don't want people booking appointments accidentally, we can do that. We also have the ability to edit our banner image. We can select from a few different options very easily, and this will basically give us an option for customization on our banner image. You'll also notice that at the moment though, the share button is currently grayed out. The reason it's grayed out is I don't have any meeting options available. So I can use the plus icon to create a public facing meeting item. Here I have a bunch of different options to choose from, such as creating an icon so that I can signify what type of meeting this is. I'm going to use a smiley face for this particular one, and I'm going to put in a title for the actual meeting itself, which is going to be a virtual coffee with Paul. I then can select the category. So in my calendar, I can choose to categorize this if I want to. I'm going to choose the purple category. If you've got these named in Outlook, this will also come across just like you would expect. I can then put in a description, which in this case is going to be short virtual coffee with Paul. Underneath there, I then get to select a location if we have one. Because this is a virtual call, I'm actually just going to leave it as a Teams meeting and not put a location in. I can then choose the length of time that this meeting will go for. I have options for 15 minutes, 30, 45, or an hour, or I can select custom. So in this case, I'm going to make this meeting a 25-minute coffee catch-up. I then have the choice of whether or not this meeting will be a public meeting or a private one. Public meetings will appear on your booking page automatically, whereas private ones, you will need to share a link to this particular meeting. As you can see here, this meeting currently doesn't have any shared links. I'll change this one back to public. We'll create a private one later on. I can then also choose whether or not this is going to use my regularly scheduled meeting hours or have a custom availability if I want. I'll leave this as my regular working hours just for now. Selecting advanced options will let me assign buffer times and lead times. So if I would like to make it so that on my virtual coffee meeting, I'd like to have a buffer time, I can actually choose to have either a buffer time before my meeting, which in this case I don't want to, but I'm going to set a buffer time after my meeting for 5 minutes. So now that 25-minute coffee catch-up has a 5-minute window afterwards where I can prepare for my next meeting. I can then also choose to limit the start time selection options so that people can only book on either the half hour or the hour interval. In my particular case here, I'm going to make this every 15 minutes people can choose. And then for the minimum lead time, you can designate it so that people can't slot appointments into your calendar within the next either 1 day or 12 hours, 8 hours. In my case, I'm going to leave that as 1 hour. And then for the maximum lead time, I can specify exactly how far out in advance people can book. I'm going to set that to 1 month. Now that I've got my meeting options selected, I can simply head up and hit the save button. And now, when we come back to my bookings page, you'll notice that we have my virtual coffee with Paul meeting available right there. Now, we want to show what happens when you set up a private meeting. So I'm going to quickly do this without zooming in too much. So we're going to set up a top secret meeting. So we're going to have someone doing a bit of a shh symbol. And this is going to be a top secret meeting. Oops, and I'm going to type that correctly this time. Well, it'll be a top secret meeting. And we'll assign it a different category. Top secret meetings can be read in my calendar this time. I won't put a description there because we don't want people to know what the top secret meeting is about. But we'll set this as a quick 15-minute meeting. And you'll notice that it's designated as private, which means that only people with the booking link will be able to view this type of meeting. And I'll go to my advanced options and I'll set up a buffer time, maybe a 5-minute buffer before the meeting and a 10-minute buffer after the meeting, so that I now have half an hour set aside for my 15-minute top secret meeting. I can see what that will look like in my calendar in the preview here. Now I'll save this particular meeting, and when we come back to my booking page, you'll see that I have both my public virtual coffee meeting and my private top secret meeting. In order to share the top secret meeting, I need to use the ellipsis menu, and selecting on this will give me a menu where I can choose to copy a link, which is a permanent link to that type of meeting. Or if I want underneath there, I have the option to copy a single use link, which will only be eligible for one use only. I can then choose if I want to make this particular type of meeting public, and then that would put it into the regular meetings if I want, which if I then go and share my booking page, I have options to either copy the link, or I can share it via an email via the web here. I even have an option to help me add this to my email signature if I'd like. For this demonstration, I'm just going to copy the link. I'll then head over to a new tab, paste this link in so you can see what this will look like for the user who is booking in a meeting with you. Here you can see my booking page. I've got my banner image at the top, and then I have my meetings that they can choose from. In this case, it's just the public meetings. You can't see that private meeting that I have assigned. And then underneath there, I have the ability for them to select the date that they would like, and then they can choose the particular time slot that they would like to book in this meeting with you. This will obviously take into account any prior meetings that are in your calendar and will automatically block out those times. People will then be able to see the date and time of the particular meeting. They'll be prompted to insert their name and email address if they are not signed into Office 365 already. They can also add in any extra notes if they'd like and use the book button down the bottom to slot this time slot in with you. And that is how you use the personal bookings page in Microsoft 365. I hope you found this tip extremely useful and it makes setting up those meetings with people in the future just a little bit easier, and I'll catch you in my next video. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, be sure to check out the channel, and if you like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.